Elaine Chao will witness history when she attends the inauguration, and she's also likely to make history as the first Asian American to serve in 2 U.S. administrations. She's nominated for Secretary of Transportation after serving 8 years as Labor Secretary under George W. Bush. Her parents immigrated to the U.S. from China. She calls that catalyst for her own journey. I sat down and spoke to her about her decision to return to public service.
Well, number one, I'm an immigrant to this country, and I have tremendous gratitude to this country for the opportunities that it has given to my parents and to me. We've always believed in public service. My parents have been great philanthropists who've always believed in giving back. And so when this opportunity arose and I had a chance to contribute back to society and to America, it was a decision that I did not want to look back with regret. I feel that my experience can really help the president.
Are there things that can be borrowed as you move into your job? Because you even talked about it, failing infrastructure. I mean, I'm sure you've ridden on the rails here on the East Coast, not so great. Are there things that can be borrowed from China here?
Well, I think most of all, we need to develop a lot of talent and also technology here. We already have. Silicon Valley leads the world in terms of creativity and innovation, and it is spreading its knowledge and know-how throughout the world. And it's a hallmark of who we are as Americans. But you're right, there are also other technologies and other ways of doing things, and so we should always be open to new ideas and different ways of doing things better.
What needs to happen to bring the country together? Because you see the split. Your husband obviously recognizes it. He's in the Senate. What needs to happen?
You know, you have to have a sense of history. When we're going through times, it seems as if we're the only ones ever to go through something. You know, America's a young democracy. We talk about China, we talk about India, we talk about, other civilizations. We are a very dynamic, young, energetic society. We're only a little bit over 200 years old. So we are also a country where it's very confrontational. It's a democracy, there's robust discussion back and forth. And if you look at our history, even our very short history, there are times when the tonality is pretty tough. I'm not saying I endorse that, not at all. But as we go forward in this era of 24/7 transparent and 24/7 media focus, I think that there is a tendency to stoke partisanship for the viewership or whatever. And I think in many ways, there are many, many instances where people do work together.
I was at an event last week in New York. Henry Kissinger was speaking, and then, of course, he was talking about the relationship between China and the United States. And I know you don't want to go there, but President Xi also talking about globalization. One of the concerns I heard last week when I was at this event in New York is this concern that the United States is going to take this step back. We saw this with Brexit in the UK. Do you think that's overblown, or do you think that that's something people should be concerned about?
I don't think America can forsake its leadership around the world. We are the most economically strong, politically well-respected nation in the world. Whether we want to or not, we are looked upon by many, many other nations around the world for leadership. And so I think it's hard for America to step back. And it's hard for America to not fulfill that leadership role. But how that leadership role is exercised, that takes discretion and wisdom, and we will see.